All right, so we're here at Evasive Motorsports for a special treat for everybody. We have the Evasive S2000RS, and it's going to go to World Time Attack, and the guys are getting it ready and doing the final checks to put it on the container and ship it to Australia. And I'm here with Mike Chang. He's one of the owners of Evasive, and he kind of manages the team. And this is a pretty special team for me because, you know, like at MotoIQ, we're helping out. Like I'm doing the suspension engineering for the car, and I love working with Evasive. They're one of the best teams to work with, and there's a lot that goes on with the car and the things behind it. And one of it is to be like the development tool for Evasive's S2000R and S2000RS projects. And Mike, maybe you can talk about that a little.
Yeah, so you know, obviously we specialize in S2000s. It's kind of like a passion project for us, and we've been developing and building these cars for well over a decade now. So what the S2000RS is essentially an all-out. Only goal is to go as fast as we can with this car, so there's no limitation on this. S2000R is our street-going version of what ultimate S2000 would be, and it's something we hope to offer to our customers in the future.
Now, I've looked at the S2000R, and I think the best way I could kind of describe it is kind of like a Gunther Works car in an S2000.
Yeah, it's kind of our way of you know, our interpretation of what a modern S2000 is. Everything has been stripped down to the chassis, refinished. Everything's repainted, so all the seals and plastics, everything is brand new on the car. So it's our interpretation of what a new S2000 will be like. And
can you tell us a little about it, like the engine and?
Yeah, so the S2000R is powered by a K20 C1, which is the engine out of a FKA FL5. It makes about 300-ish horsepower and almost the same amount of torque stock. So it's a lot better than what an S2000 engine output is. The car is on a MotoIQ ECU, so everything runs pretty smooth. Suspension is KW, custom valve Club Sports. We have not yet track tested the car. Right now it's been a lot of street driving, trying to work out the little noise here and there and make sure the car drives well on the street.
It's super refined though, right? Like, isn't your idea to kind of do something like if Honda had continued the development of the S2000, what it would be like now?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the S2 is already a very capable car, like out of the box. So we're trying to just make it a little bit better. I mean, we don't want to take away what the S2000 feels like. Mm-hmm. You know, we still want it to be nimble, lightweight, responsive. With that in mind, we're just literally just trying to make it a better version of itself. You know, a better S2000. So obviously, we trimmed a lot of weight, better dampers. We have all new bushings. So everything just feels tighter, better, and quicker all around. Yeah.
What have you done with the brakes?
The brakes are actually Brembos. Mm-hmm. They're Brembo front 6-pot, 4-pot rear. Mm-hmm. We worked with Brembo to develop the custom rear brakes with the e-brake because they didn't have that before. So it's a big improvement over stock.
And you've done a lot of like really tasteful body enhancements too, right? I noticed a lot of carbon fiber and cool stuff. Yeah, so the hood and the trunk is all dry carbon. The fenders are composite material too. Bumper is a 20th anniversary Honda bumper, mm-hmm. but we also have the S2000R front lip and the rear spoiler. That's all one-off for the S2000R for now. How about the interior appointments? Interior, we have, right now it's a Recaro podium seats. I think we're gonna add some custom touches to it. The door cards are all carbon, a lot of Alcantara. We wanted to make it kind of racy, but still kind of factory. You have all the carpet and all the sound deadening, the comfortable creature comfort stuff, yeah. And Man, I mean, I took a look at the R, and I want one, whether I can afford one or not.
Yeah, I already put you down for one, so it's too late. Yeah.
Oh, shoot, all right. And the RS is kind of like what the, I guess the GT3 RS compared to a GT3 Porsche, except it's more like even a cup car,
Yeah,
right?
I would say it's more like a RSR in that aspect. It's all out like time attack cars, you know, because you help us work on it. The only rules we're kind of abiding by is what, you know, the organizer, you know, right now we're going to World Time Attack, so we have to abide by their rules, which a lot of it is just safety driven rules. But as far as the car wise, it's just, we're free to kind of just explore whatever we want to do to make it go faster. And it's like you said, it's like a test bed too for us.
And you have customer versions. I noticed that you're building one for a customer like right out there.
Yeah. So a lot of our customers look at our projects, whether it be this car, the S2000R, or just regular Voltex kitted S2000. They come to us, be like, we want that exact replica of that. So, and that's kind of how our business model works.
Now, this is one of the most sophisticated cars that I've ever worked with. That's a production-based car. And I mean, it's beyond a tuner car. It's more like a motorsports grade car. And I've worked with Evasive, and I mean, we've done some pretty cool things. Like we've gone production cars and we've beat factory teams with them. And, you know, I guess all of us are pretty proud that, you know, us regular people have beat factory teams in some motorsports venues. And I think Evasive's very professional and very detail-oriented, and you know, everybody gets along real well. Everybody's open-minded, and we just mostly work on going quicker. And I think one of the things of working with Evasive is that you know, the cars are very well engineered and they're very efficient, because I think most of our wins and stuff, we usually have less power than our competitors, like considerably less.
Yeah.
But we make it up with, you know, aero brakes, handling, the overall integration of the whole car, and thorough testing and making sure everything's dialed. And I mean, I'm pretty proud to say that we've beat cars with 3 times our power before.
Right. Yeah, and then I think that's our company model from day one. It's just getting that perfect balance, right? We're not trying to overdo one thing on the car. We're not trying to make 1,000,000 horsepower. We're not trying to do, you know, like a million pounds of downforce. It's just all a balance. It's that game. And then once you find that perfect balance, the car should be fast automatically. So.
And I think like our team is more about engineering and balance than brute force. We're probably more like that than almost anybody in this time attack game.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, if you go to time attacks, you'll probably notice that the Evasive car is running lap after lap, and we're tweaking and tuning, and a lot of our competitors, they can only do 1 or 2 laps and then work on the car the rest of the day. And you know, we're in the reliability too, I think.
Yeah, and a lot of it is from experience too. So we're trying to learn from, you know, the stuff that happened in the past and make sure it doesn't happen again. So I think that's how reliability comes along.
So with this car, you know, the guys have been working really hard on it, and you want to explain maybe some stuff about the engine?
Yeah, so for World Time Attack, we swapped in a new engine from the guys at Ford Piston. It should take a little bit more boost compared to the older engine. And this year, obviously, we're installing a nitrous to help out with the response and just the corner exit, help the turbo spool.
Because in Australia, that's a total power track. So.
Total power track. So like your speed down at the end of the front straight really determines your lap time. So the quicker you can get out of the corner, the faster you'll basically at the end of the front straight. So. And other than that, you know, we made a lot of changes. A lot of it is safety. A lot of it is aero. We have a new aero package from Voltex that includes front canards and front wings. We couldn't use that before because the factory power steering was not strong enough to handle all that force at speed. So we went with the sport grade power
A
steering.
Woodward rack and the Porsche Motorsports
yeah.
pump.
So it should be more than enough to handle all the downforce this car would generate. So hopefully that will work out, and then you know, basically just a lot of redundancy in what we're doing, just to make sure the car is reliable, and you know, yeah.
From looking at the suspension data, I think we're making close to 3,000 pounds at about 120 miles an hour,
Yeah.
which is quite a bit. But the Voltex Aero doesn't seem to be too draggy either, which is pretty surprising. But the Voltex uses a wind tunnel.
They do.
And CFD to design stuff,
yeah,
right?
this whole, the good thing about this is a whole package. So he did actually put it through a tunnel, and it's tested with the top fuel S2000 from maybe almost a decade ago. So it kind of evolved from that point to this. So yeah, it works out pretty well.
And the cool thing is, if you like the way this looks, you can buy it at Evasive, right?
Yeah, it's going to cost an arm and a leg, but you can buy it.
And it's all a complete engineered package.
Yeah.
Now the motor has a HKS turbo system.
Yeah. So we have actually 2 turbo setups this year. We have a larger turbo with a new manifold, and we also have a smaller turbo. So we're kind of deciding which one to go with. But right now, I think we're sticking with the smaller setup, mainly for the better response. But we're going to bring both setups to Australia and just to see how it goes.
And what's interesting is, you know, this isn't the first time that Evasive has done this. You know, like we've had cars with 1,000 horsepower, and we found that the turbo that makes 700 horsepower actually turns better lap times because of better response and better, more area under the power curve and being easier to drive. So, you know, the team's prepared. I think the big turbo makes, what, about 800?
Yeah, it should be 850, yeah. But obviously the power band shifts over, so Dai likes a very responsive car, so I think we will cater to his driving style, because ultimately if that's what he likes, that equals faster lap times. So.
And the smaller turbo is about 700?
650, 700, yeah, around that range.
Yeah, and this is a F22, not a...
F22, yeah, F22, but it's stroked to 2.3, so.
And if you guys don't know, 4P is one of the country's best builders of K-Series and F-Series engines, so the engine should be pretty good. It's dry sump too, right?
Dry sump, yeah.
And when you look at some of the stuff, like there's a lot of things that has been done for air management through the engine bay, like everything's ducted and vented, so that kind of helps with both downforce and drag reduction. So the engine is sort of conventional tech, but kind of high tech too. You're running a Motec engine management system.
M150, yeah, and then we have, everything's Motec, and then we also have obviously pneumatic shifters for the transmission, and that's all controlled by Motec.
The transmission's a Samsonis, right?
Samsonis, yeah.
6-speed sequential with paddle shift. What kind of clutch?
Tilton.
Tilton clutch.
Tilton clutch.
And you're running a Ford 8.8-inch differential?
Yeah.
With the OS
Geiken diff, yep.
And drive shaft shop axles.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's all the heavy duty stuff. So I know a lot of you S2K guys know about the diff being the weak point, but that's all been addressed. Suspension is like a Wisefab road racing setup, right?
Yep, road race setup, and then we actually machined some of the arms ourselves, just to, you know,
reinforce it
because this is not really a typical S2000.
Right.
Yeah, for the added load and stuff. So we just, you know, we reinforce some of the components.
And the shocks are KW Motorsport 3-way?
3-way, yes.
Yeah, and we specified the spring rates and the shock damping.
Yep.
KW custom built them for us. The brakes are Brembo
Pista front and GTS rear. Yeah.
And we're running a Tilton pedal box and Tilton master cylinders with Bosch Motorsports ABS.
ABS, yeah.
And this car has full data logging, so like every single engine, gearbox, suspension,
Ride height, we have
brake.
ride height sensor. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can look at the shock position. We have laser ride height. We have infrared sensing for the tire temps and tire pressures. So we have a full suite of data logging, and actually that's part of Evasive's secret, right? I think is having superior data logging. So you know, we could be proactive with dealing with things, and it helps us perfect the chassis setup quickly too.
It saves a lot of time and you have a lot of data, yeah, for sure.
I guess tires are running Yokohama.
Yeah, A05 slicks. Yeah, that's what we're gonna run now in Australia.
Titan 7 wheels.
Yeah, they actually, yeah, these are the TP5s, but we have some new wheels waiting for us in Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And those are forged and lightweight.
Super lightweight, yeah.
I guess we're running all radium fuel system, radium fuel cell.
Everything's radium. Yep.
Nitrous Express nitrous system, and the nitrous system is all controlled by the Motec, and it's all duty cycle controlled, so it goes with the throttle and all that.
Yeah.
So it should be seamless.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to this car.
Yeah, I mean, every little corner you look at, there's like, you know, a lot going on. So it's hard to list it all in one shot.
I think that this is probably the closest to a factory GT car that.
Yeah, I think it's where like maybe a pickup point change away from being the next level, which to me, I like it. I like the fact that it's still factory chassis, factory pickup points, and we're just maximizing that, you know. Once you go tube chassis and all that stuff, I feel like it takes the tuner spirit out of it, you know what I mean? Then it becomes a full-blown race car.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
I mean, what's cool is that, if you have enough money, Evasive can easily duplicate this car, and everything is available through Evasive. So, you know, it's developed here, it's proven on the track, but it's also, you can buy it. And that's kind of like the magic of everything, I suppose. So I know a lot of people that follow the MotoIQ channel and read MotoIQ, the website. You know, a lot of you people in Australia are fans of our stuff. So we're going to be at World Time Attack, and don't be shy. Just come up and say hi. And
ask for autograph.
No. No, you could. I mean, I'm not worth getting an autograph. Probably the Japanese guy that drives this
ask for
thing.
a picture and an autograph.
Yeah. So when I was talking to Mike, I saw this Japanese guy walk in, and I heard he's kind of famous. I think
really.
You're going to drive this, right?
Yes, I hope so.
Okay. So
Maybe not on the first one, but at least, you know, I'm gonna drive in the main event, right?
Right. You're not going to go test?
We'll see.
You have to do famous guy kind of things. And so this is Dai Yoshihara. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but you know, I've been working with Dai really long time, like what, 16 years or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Like
it's been a while.
we don't even remember, but you know, he's like kind of good at drifting in Formula D, I guess, or was, and now he's IMSA driver, and yeah, driving Hondas and IMSA and doing pretty good, and he drives most of the stuff for Evasive, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting that right? Yeah. So, yeah, are you excited about driving this?
Oh yeah, man. Every time I drive this car, it's like super fast. Like I never get the best out of it yet. So, especially last setup, we're lacking of the power steering power. You know, so much downforce. So, you know, certain turns, I couldn't overcome the turning with my muscle. But now it should be fixed. So I can even go faster, like rolling speed would be quite a bit faster, right?
Yeah, I hope so. Or, yeah, then it's, you know, for the engineering department.
So there's two things last time I drove was the brake was unstable and the power steering was sometimes not working well. But those two things were fixed, and those are kind of important things for going fast. So
Yeah, braking and steering, you kind of need that.
right? So I'm super excited to see what the car can do.
I was amazed how fast you're going at Laguna, even though you could barely steer the car and the brakes weren't working.
I mean, brake was okay, but yeah, certain turn I couldn't go as fast as the car can go. I know I can carry more speed, but if I do it, I couldn't unwind the wheel or whatever, right? So yeah, I was losing, a few tenths here and there. So
You have a pretty long history with S2K. Like, it's your favorite street car, right?
I mean, I don't really have a history, but this is for sure one of the, my favorite cars.
Didn't you race the S2K and Super Taikyu in Japan
Oh, yeah.
for Spoon?
That was just a one-time deal. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I've done a couple time attack with this car, and I've raced Spoon Sports S2000 back in 2015 in Super Taikyu.
And the S2K, the way the chassis is, and with the engine setback, it has good weight distribution and really good suspension stock and all that stuff. I think you told me before that this is the S2000 platform is your favorite car to drive, almost even when it's stock, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's so balanced, right? In a way, so it's kind of known to be not a good drift car because it's so balanced, which I agree with it. But once you get it, you're in the zone, you feel like you can maneuver the car like part of your body. So,
and I really respect that opinion because I know you drive as an instructor. You get to drive all kinds of super expensive exotic cars and like a whole bunch of different kinds of production-based race cars.
Yeah.
And to hear you say that about the S2K, that's pretty impressive to me. And
it's true, right?
yeah.
I mean, especially like the cars nowadays are so different. So many other stuff.
All the
right?
electronics.
Devices and stuff. So, yeah, I think it's because of that it stands out even more these days. Yeah.
And so what do you think about, when you work with Evasive, like we work really hard to have like a lot of information for you and, to help you make a decision and how you would like your setup and, engine, brakes, aero and handling. And I think that Evasive is one of the best teams to be able to present all that to you and make it more simple choices.
100%. As you know, I'm not really a technical guy. I mean, I don't really work on a car. I can change tires, I can change shocks, but that's about it. So I don't really know much about the cars. Same with the setup too. But I've been working with you for a long time, and I'm just telling you what the car is doing, and then you just translate to the car or the mechanic to set the car up, right?
And
so that's the way we've been working with, and same thing as the Evasive. You're the guy who's the translator to the crew, right?
And I think I understand the die language, like things like car feels like flog, roof is too high.
Flog is more like a drifting term, right?
And the car needs clab.
Oh, that's a drifting term, yeah.
But that's kind of my butchered Japanese,
Yeah.
butchered English, I guess, right? So, but yeah, you're always my favorite driver to work with. I mean, I'm saying that right now because you're right here.
Okay.
No,
That
but
doesn't mean much, but thank you.
you're one of my favorite drivers to work with, and I'm really looking forward to going to Australia with the team and you, and I hope we do pretty good. The last time I went to Australia was a big embarrassment, but I think we're much more prepared this time, and yeah, I'm excited to at least do okay there.
Yeah, so I think the setup is the key, and then unfortunately we don't really have that much time. But as a translator of a driver, and I heard you guys got a lot more like a data logging system, right? So even though if I don't talk to you guys, you would know what the car's doing, so you can just set it up for me, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be easy. job
Yeah.
for me. And then, there's no doubt, all the Evasive crew can make it happen.
So yeah, let's go to Australia and do our best.
All right.
So if you like, so thank you for watching, and if you like this content, hit the subscribe button somewhere, and go to MotoIQ.com. Check that out. There's a lot of technical articles and stuff there. We have a web store. If you like my cool merch, you can buy that, and we also have parts. If you want us to build your motor or work on your car, we have a garage services link, and click on that, fill the form out, and we'll get back to you. So thank you, Di.
Thank you.
And thank you, Mike, over there. And we'll see you in Australia.